An X-ray screen lights up with an impossible image. Inside a seemingly ordinary suitcase are 3 ancient Roman marble statues, missing for 60 years. Stolen from an Italian museum during World War II, worth over $30 million combined. Customs officers freeze. They call their supervisor. They call the FBI. They call Interpol. Within hours, archaeologists are being flown in. UNESCO officials are being notified. An international incident is unfolding. This is the moment that changed everything. New York JFK International Airport, Monday morning. The airport is already alive with activity. It's one of the busiest airports in the world. Over 47 million passengers per year pass through these terminals. International flights arriving from every continent, every country, every destination imaginable. This is where the world comes and goes. This is where goods flow in and out of America, where legitimate commerce happens, where illegal smuggling also happens, where secrets are hidden, where fortunes are made and lost. It's a Tuesday morning. A flight from Rome has just arrived. It's an overnight flight, direct from Fiumicino Airport in Rome to JFK. The passengers are tired. They're jet-lagged. They're moving through the terminal slowly. One passenger stands out. His name is Dr. James Morrison. He's in his mid-60s. He's well-dressed. He's carrying expensive luggage. He looks like what he is, a wealthy man, a successful man, a man who travels internationally on business. But Dr. James Morrison is carrying something that will change the course of history, something that will expose one of the greatest art thefts of the 20th century, something that will spark an international investigation. Officer Patricia Hernandez is working customs this morning. She's been with CBP for 16 years. She's stationed at JFK. She's one of the most experienced inspectors in New York. She has processed thousands upon thousands of passengers. She has a system. She watches people as they approach. She reads their body language. She looks for inconsistencies. She looks for signs. She's been trained to see things that most people miss. As Dr. Morrison approaches her counter, Patricia notices something. He's nervous. Not obviously nervous. But beneath the surface, there's tension. There's something off about his energy. Patricia, good morning. Welcome to the United States. Where are you arriving from? Dr. Morrison, Rome, Italy. I was there on vacation. Patricia, how long were you in Rome? Dr. Morrison, 2 weeks. Just a little getaway. I needed a break from work. Patricia, what kind of work do you do, Mr. Morrison? Dr. Morrison, I'm a consultant. I work in the arts. I advise collectors on acquisitions. Patricia nods. An arts consultant. That's interesting. That's not common. Most people at the airport are business people or tourists, not arts consultants. Patricia, and do you have anything to declare? Dr. Morrison, no, just some personal items. Books, some clothes. Nothing of value. Patricia's instincts kick in. Something is wrong. His answer was too fast. His answer was too rehearsed. He didn't pause to think. Most people pause when asked about declarations. Most people think for a moment. Dr. Morrison answered immediately. Patricia, I need to inspect your luggage. Dr. Morrison, of course. No problem at all. Dr. Morrison places 2 suitcases on the inspection table. Patricia opens the first one. Clothes, books, Italian fashion magazines. Normal items. Nothing suspicious. Patricia opens the second suitcase. More clothes. Some souvenirs. Postcards of Rome. Italian wine bottles wrapped carefully in clothing. But then Patricia notices something. The suitcase is very heavy. Heavier than the clothes inside would justify. Patricia presses on the bottom. She feels resistance. She presses harder. There's something hard underneath. Something solid. Something that shouldn't be there. Patricia looks at Dr. Morrison. His face has gone pale. Patricia, there's something in the suitcase that shouldn't be here. Dr. Morrison, I don't know what you mean. Patricia calls over her supervisor, Officer James Chin. James has been with Customs for 20 years. He's seen every trick in the book. He's processed everything from smuggled diamonds to hidden weapons. James looks at the suitcase. He presses on the bottom. He feels it too. James, we're going to need to open this up. Dr. Morrison, please be careful. Whatever is in there is very fragile. The word whatever is interesting. He doesn't say I don't know what's in there. He says whatever is in there, like he knows exactly what's in there, like he's protecting it. James uses a tool to carefully pry open the false bottom. It takes several minutes. The suitcase is well made. The false compartment is professional. Whoever built this knew what they were doing. And then the bottom opens. Inside are 3 objects. 3 marble statues. Ancient, beautiful, exquisitely carved. Each one approximately 2 feet tall. Each one depicting figures from ancient Rome. James stops moving. He stops breathing for a moment. He knows what he's looking at. Or at least he knows this is something significant. James, call Interpol. Call the FBI. Call everyone. Before we continue with this incredible story, I need your support. Please hit that like button right now and subscribe to this channel. We're bringing you real customs mysteries every single day. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Now let's continue. Within the hour, FBI agents arrive. Art specialists arrive. Museum experts arrive. The suitcase is photographed. The statues are photographed. Documentation begins immediately. Dr. Morrison is taken into custody. He's not arrested yet, but he's detained. He's being held while the authorities try to understand what they're dealing with. The statues are carefully removed from the suitcase. They're placed in protective cases, they're transported to a secure location, and then the investigation truly begins. An FBI agent named Sarah Kim is assigned to the case. Sarah specializes in art theft. She's worked on cases involving stolen paintings, stolen sculptures, stolen antiquities. She knows the world of art crime better than almost anyone. Sarah immediately begins the process of identifying the statues. She takes photographs, she sends them to museums, she sends them to Interpol, she sends them to art databases around the world. Within 24 hours, she gets a hit. The 3 statues match descriptions of 3 statues stolen from the Museo Nazionale Romano in Rome during World War II. They were taken in 1943 during the Nazi occupation of Italy. They've been missing for 81 years. The statues are priceless, not just because they're ancient, but because they're historically significant. They're examples of Roman sculpture from the 1st century AD. They're masterpieces. Combined, they're estimated to be worth over $30 million. Dr. Morrison's lawyer arrives. The lawyer is high-powered. The lawyer is expensive. The lawyer is good. Lawyer, my client has not committed any crime. My client was simply transporting personal items. Sarah, your client was transporting $30 million worth of stolen antiquities. Lawyer, my client did not know they were stolen. My client was purchasing them from a legitimate dealer in Rome. Sarah, then your client won't mind telling us the name of this dealer.
Dr. Morrison refuses to cooperate. He invokes his right to remain silent. He refuses to answer any questions. He sits in the interrogation room with his lawyer and doesn't say a word.
But the investigation doesn't need Dr. Morrison to talk. The investigation has the statues, and the statues tell their own story. Sarah brings in Dr. Elena Rossi, a renowned art historian from the Metropolitan Museum. Dr. Rossi is one of the world's leading experts on Roman sculpture. She examines the statues carefully. She looks at every detail, every carving, every mark. Dr. Rossi, these are definitely authentic. They're 1st century AD. They're made from Parian marble. They're exceptional examples of Roman imperial portraiture. Sarah, can you tell me their exact history? Dr. Rossi, I can tell you they were part of the Museo Nazionale Romano collection. I can tell you they were documented as stolen in 1943. I can tell you they've been missing ever since. Sarah, where have they been for 81 years? Dr. Rossi, that's the mystery, isn't it? The investigation expands. Federal agents begin investigating Dr. Morrison's financial records. They begin investigating his communications. They begin tracking his movements. They discover that Dr. Morrison has been involved in art acquisitions for 30 years. They discover that many of his acquisitions are of questionable provenance. They discover that he's worked with known art smugglers. They discover that he's made millions of dollars through his consultancy. They discover something else. They discover that Dr. Morrison recently received a wire transfer of $5 million from an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. $5 million, paid to him just before he traveled to Rome. The payment appears to be for the procurement of 3 specific items. The items match the description of the 3 Roman statues. Dr. Morrison had been paid $5 million to smuggle these statues out of Italy. The question is, who paid him? Who hired him? Who wanted these statues badly enough to pay $5 million? Federal agents begin investigating Italian authorities. They reach out to Italian police. They coordinate with Carabinieri, the Italian military police who specialize in art theft. Italian investigators begin their own investigation. They begin asking questions. They begin following leads. Within weeks, they discover that the statues had been in the hands of a criminal organization in Naples. The organization has been involved in art smuggling for decades. They've been stealing antiquities from museums. They've been selling them to wealthy collectors around the world. The statues were supposed to be sold to a private collector in New York, a billionaire who has been buying stolen antiquities for years. The billionaire was willing to pay $30 million for the 3 statues. Dr. Morrison was the middleman. Dr. Morrison was supposed to smuggle the statues out of Italy, bring them through customs in New York, and deliver them to the billionaire. But Dr. Morrison made one mistake. He didn't account for Patricia Hernandez's instincts. He didn't account for her ability to feel that something was wrong. He didn't account for a false bottom in a suitcase triggering a customs inspection. Dr. Morrison is charged with smuggling stolen antiquities. He faces up to 20 years in federal prison. The billionaire is investigated. Evidence is gathered. The billionaire is charged with conspiracy to receive stolen property. He faces similar charges. Members of the Neapolitan criminal organization are arrested. Italian authorities pursue cases against them. International cooperation leads to prosecutions on both sides of the Atlantic. The 3 statues are returned to Italy. They're returned to the Museo Nazionale Romano. They're placed back on display. For the first time in 81 years, they're available for the public to see. A ceremony is held in Rome. Italian officials celebrate the recovery. The American ambassador attends. The statues are celebrated as a triumph of international law enforcement cooperation. Patricia Hernandez is invited to Rome for the ceremony. She's awarded a commendation from the Italian government. She's celebrated as the officer who recovered these priceless artifacts. Patricia stands in front of the 3 statues. She looks at them carefully. She thinks about the moment she felt that the suitcase was too heavy. The moment she pressed on the bottom. The moment she decided to call her supervisor. That one moment, that one decision, that one instinct led to the recovery of $30 million worth of stolen antiquities, led to the prosecution of a criminal organization, led to the return of priceless pieces of human history to where they belong. Months later, Dr. Morrison is sitting in a federal prison. He's serving his 20-year sentence. He's had time to reflect. He's had time to think about his choices. He's had time to regret his actions. He writes a letter to Patricia Hernandez. He writes it from prison. His handwriting is neat, deliberate. Officer Hernandez, the letter begins. I want you to know that I understand now. I understand that what I did was wrong. I was so caught up in the money, in the prestige, and the idea of working with the world's most powerful collectors, that I lost sight of what was right. Those statues belong to humanity, he continues. They belong in a museum where people can see them, study them, learn from them. Not in a private collection where only the wealthy can appreciate them. You stopped me from taking that away. You stopped me from being part of a system that treats human history as a commodity. I deserve to go to prison, the letter concludes. And I'm grateful that you were the one who caught me. You gave me the chance to finally understand the damage I was causing. Patricia receives the letter in her office at JFK. She reads it. She thinks about Dr. Morrison. She thinks about the 3 statues. She thinks about how that one moment, that one instinct changed everything. Changed the course of history in a small way. Preserved pieces of human culture that might otherwise have been lost forever. Officer Patricia Hernandez continues working at JFK. She continues inspecting luggage. She continues trusting her instincts. She continues catching smugglers and recovering stolen goods. The 3 Roman statues continue to be displayed at the Museo Nazionale Romano in Rome. Thousands of people visit them every year. They stand in front of these ancient works of art. They read the plaques that explain the statues' history. They read the story of how they were smuggled, how they were recovered, how they were returned home. And they think about Officer Patricia Hernandez, about the moment her instincts saved these statues, about how one person's attention to detail preserved something precious, something irreplaceable, something that belongs to all of us.